Hello, James.
Evening, Annette.
We're going to start with Dominique Strauss-Kahn, somebody who seems to have difficulty disappearing off the public radar, and an interview that he did with Russian television.
That's right. I mean, I think people were predicting Dominique Strauss-Kahn's comeback since he went away, so to speak, or since he had to retire a little bit from public view. And here he is giving an interview to Russian television today, where he spoke about a lot of issues. You might remember that there was an interview recently as well given to CNN, which was rebroadcast then on French television. And he was asked in that interview, you know, are you interested in being the president of France? Speak to us frankly. You know, is this something that you envisage? And of course, he brushed it aside, but it was quite a convenient question because it casts him as somebody who was credibly capable of making a political comeback. Now, again, he was asked the question today by these Russian interviewers on Rossiya 24, and he said, politics is in the past. I am now going to fully dedicate myself to my role as an international advisor to governments and business. I'm traveling to Latin America, I'm traveling to Russia, I'm traveling to African countries. In other words, I'm back, you know. But some people are speculating that, you know, in a similar way to Nicolas Sarkozy when he said, politics is finished, that this could all be strategic.
You can never trust a politician,
right,
or a retired or resigned politician when he says or she says, I'm never coming back.
But I think what's interesting is often it's the question that determines the perception, because if during the CNN interview he's being asked, could you be, you know, imagine yourself as the president of France? It's already making that sound in some way possible, right? Now, elsewhere, he reminded viewers that he is now, he has two positions in Russia, one for the Russian Direct Investment Fund and for the Russian Regional Development Bank, positions on the board. And also, apparently, Serbia has sought his advice, the finance ministry. I think it's something like 24% unemployment in Serbia, but apparently they can't afford him. But his people are denying that. So I suppose it is a case of Dominique Strauss-Kahn making a bit of a comeback. And if you can take his word as fact, he seems to be quite happy to move on from politics and to occupy this role as an international advisor.
I like the fact that he could be heading to Russia in the footsteps of Gerard Depardieu. Is this where well-known Frenchmen end up?
Indeed.
Next to wartime Europe and an extraordinary documentary about prisoners of war.
That's right. This was picked up by the Le Monde blog Big Browser, and it's a film that has been, I suppose, re-digitalized and kind of polished up and released. Now, let's look at an extract of it, because this, I think we have some footage. It's basically prisoners of war, French soldiers who were held from 1940 until September 1943 in Austria. They managed, Annette, to smuggle in a camera in different pieces hidden in sausages, if you can believe that. Once inside the camp, they managed to hide the camera in a book in the library where they had torn out all the pages. And then the film, they managed to hide inside the soles of their shoes. They filmed the life that they lived under Nazi prisoner of war camp. And also, 132 of them escaped. I think some of that was also filmed, but were caught. 6 managed to definitively escape the Nazi camp, and one of them is still alive today. So it's actually an extraordinary story, and perhaps because there's just one left living, it's been getting a lot of attention, and this documentary certainly sounds like a really original piece of film, especially given how they managed to get that camera into the camp.
Oh, it's extraordinary.
In sausages.
I mean, has Hollywood come calling because it's, you know, got all the markings of a potential blockbuster?
If it can be polished up, I think a lot of people, well, it has been polished up, and I think there will be a lot of interest.
Now, finally, a French fashion faux pas. Is it actually possible, James?
Well, take a look at this jumper, sweater, however you want to call it.
Sweatshirt.
Chômeur in French, chômeur means unemployed man, right? Unemployed person. Now, how much would you think a jumper, you know, with unemployed man written on it might cost, Annette?
Well, it depends. I mean, I would say, you know, it would be great that it had been offered for free for those who are actually unemployed, but I suspect not.
Right. Well, in fact, it costs 285 euros for a brand, a French brand, and that brand has been getting quite a lot of
Which
stick.
brand is it?
Oh gosh, you know, you've got me now. It's I had it written down. Le Léon. That's the name of it. Le Léon. I'll click on it now, see if we can get, I think it brings up their web page. But in any case, they've been getting quite a lot of stick online. And in fact, what's more, that jumper was actually made in Nepal. So they're trying to kind of poke fun at, unemployment, and we're so sort of, I don't know, funny and outside of society. I don't know. It's just a little bit hipstery and not funny, actually, for a lot of people who might be unemployed and who couldn't afford that jumper. So there you go. A lot of people saying that was perhaps not the best marketing strategy for Le Léon.
Well, it's perhaps, not the best thing to do, given it was probably made by people in China.
Right, who are, yeah. Exactly.
We won't go any further with that one.
But who aren't paid very well, who probably are paid less than unemployed people in France.
Absolutely.
It's a whole other story.
James CREEDON, thank you so much. That's James CREEDON with Media Watch. Time now for business news.